Have you ever read one of Paul's letters in the New Testament and felt a bit like you were reading someone else's mail? Or maybe you flipped to the end, to the book of Revelation, and felt like you landed in a bizarre, symbolic dream you couldn't quite decipher. If so, you're not alone. These two styles of writing, letters and apocalyptic, can feel strange to us, but they were written to give incredible instruction and hope. Let's make sense of them together. First, the letters. Think of books like Romans, Corinthians, or Galatians. They are, in fact, someone else's mail. These weren't written as abstract theological textbooks. They were real correspondence to real people in real cities facing real problems. The church in Corinth was dealing with internal divisions and moral chaos. The churches in Galatia were confused about whether new followers of Jesus needed to follow old Jewish laws. Paul, Peter, and others wrote to them to offer specific guidance, correction, and encouragement for their specific situations. This is the key to reading them well. We have to read with context. Instead of just pulling out a single verse as a rule for all time, we ask, what was happening in this community? What problem was the author trying to solve? When we understand their situation, we can better understand the timeless principle behind the specific instruction. It moves from being a list of ancient rules to being a wellspring of wisdom we can apply to our own messy, real-life situations today. Then we have apocalyptic writing, primarily the book of Revelation. The very word apocalypse can stir up images of fear and disaster, but the Greek word apocalypsis simply means an unveiling or a revelation. This literature was written for people who were suffering, often under intense persecution from powerful empires. It wasn't written to scare them, but to give them unshakable hope. The vivid and sometimes strange imagery, the dragons, the beasts, the symbolic numbers, isn't a secret code for predicting newspaper headlines. It's a symbolic language that the original audience, steeped in the Old Testament, would have understood. The beastly empires drew on imagery from the book of Daniel. The visions of worship in heaven echoed Ezekiel and Isaiah. The message wasn't, here's how to be afraid. The message was, look behind the curtain of history. See that even though an oppressive empire looks like it's in charge, God is actually on the throne, and His justice and goodness will win in the end. It's a literature of divine victory, designed to foster endurance and faithfulness. So you see how these two fit together. The letters give us this on-the-ground, practical instruction for how to live as faithful communities in the here and now. And apocalyptic writing gives us the grand cosmic perspective, the ultimate hope that our faithfulness matters because we are part of God's victorious story. One gives instruction for the journey, the other reveals the destination. Both are essential.